this is about sport being fair for women, and in particular, not taking away the incentive of young people to have their dreams and to pursue their sport. And that's why, to me, it looked like a victory for common sense. What say you?
I'm disappointed in this ruling. The suggestion that trans women are on the verge of taking over women's sports is simply not true. For instance, FINA just made this rule essentially banning trans women from the women's category in international competition. But no trans woman in history has ever competed at that level. So, you know, they're putting in this ban that doesn't ban anyone currently. Additionally, at the NCAA level, which you mentioned, there are over 200,000 women competing every year in NCAA sports. Trans people make up 1% of the population. There should be 2,000 trans women competing every year. This rule that the NCAA put in was 11 years old, and there are only a handful of trans women who are competing. So trans women aren't taking over, they aren't winning disproportionately, and so I don't see a need for this particular rule.
But when you see the photographs of Leah Thomas, 6'3", you know, with the bone structure and the build of a pretty big man, a pretty big male that has gone through puberty, that is now re-identified as a woman. Can you imagine if you were a female swimmer trying to compete and losing races to Leah Thomas? Can you imagine the upset for people that have perhaps trained and worked at their swimming for years? It's just not fair, is it?
Leah Thomas is actually listed at 6'2", not 6'3", a minor difference. But Missy Franklin, a champion American female swimmer, is also 6'2". So, you know, the optics...
Yeah, but not with... hang on. That may be true, but we're talking about a male body that has gone through puberty. It is a very different body in terms of bone structure and indeed muscle mass as well.
Muscle mass is significantly decreased with transgender hormone therapy. Aerobic capacity is greatly decreased. There are also disadvantages that trans women face. Their larger bodies are now being powered by reduced muscle mass, reduced aerobic capacity, and that can actually lead to disadvantages in terms of quickness, recovery, endurance. And so what you really want to see is you want to see data on what happens with transgender athletes after they've been on hormone therapy, and how well do they as a group participate or compete. The data is sadly lacking at this point.
All right.